What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 9th day of January, and here we are sitting at about 0.00924. 7 hours, 13 minutes left in the day. With the price that we're at now, it doesn't really feel like we've gone too far, that we haven't done too much, but really what we just did today was actually very ideal. It's exactly what we wanted to see. And it was something that I'd kind of given up on, but we mentioned it. Remember up here, I was like, I'm going to be like a wizard. I'm going to tell you we're going to go exactly right smack dab down to the 382. And that's exactly what we did. You know, here we got close. And I was thinking close is close enough, but I wouldn't be surprised if we went lower. We kept moving up. We had this pennant formation here, right? And I just didn't imagine that we'd break out to the downside. I thought we'd break out to the upside. So I'm like, well, maybe we don't hit that 382 anymore. But in reality, pennant formations and wedge patterns all together, I feel like they're prone to false breakouts. And that's what we're seeing here, right? This is not a breakout, right? This is clearly not a breakout. It looks like a breakout because of the trend that you broke, but there's no volume. There's no volume at all. There's very, very minimal volume. So I think that what we're doing here is we're just back testing the 382. We're going to find support. This is a false break, and we're going to see the real side come up in just a second, guys. But we went smack dab to the low. Let's see, on Coinbase at least. This was right at 00834, and we were saying we'd go like exactly here, like right there, guys, right there, and then bounce off of it. The fact that we went right here, we're having a positive result now is nice, but I'd like to see this continue. The moment that we get. It depends on how we do this. Depends on how we do this. If we move up immediately, like more or less immediately, not 3 days from now, but immediately, as soon as we get above this, which may be today or tomorrow, as soon as we get above that 1.07 cent price, that high right there, that should validate that we are in fact moving to the next phase up. But if it's not immediate, if we continue to kind of dilly-dally in this range, first off, that could open up the door to going lower. But secondly, you know, maybe instead of it being like an immediate pump up like this, maybe it's more of a kind of methodical movement, if that makes sense. Whereas if we move up in a short amount of time here above this high, likely we are going to see a continuation that's very similar to this. And I would absolutely think, like if today or tomorrow we're above this price and we're closing above this price on a 4-hour or daily basis, we're closing above that price there. Let's see. It's at about 1.074. Then I would assume we are well on our way, maybe by the end of next week, if not the very, very early parts of the following week, to prices that are at 2 cents to 3 cents or higher. Because again, the thought here is if this is an impulsive move, this is our first move, right? It goes like this. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. The third leg, which is the second impulsive count, should be bigger than this one. It should be bigger. And if we're starting from here, this move, this exact replica of this, I'm not taking it from the overall low. I'm just taking it from where this move I feel like actually began. Sure, this is the low, but I feel like the move really began here. Does that make sense? I feel like the move really began right there. If I wanted to measure it longer, I could, but I feel like we're trying to be conservative, not overestimating. If we're expecting this next leg, and I am expecting this next leg to be bigger than the last leg, then we would go well above 2.4 cents. And then what we do is, you know, we do our Fibonacci retracements. We take our high to our low. What level, what fib lines up with something that's just above this, the 786, which is right around this point of resistance. We might be running, you guys, we might be running all the way up to 3 cents from here. Maybe higher, maybe 3.7 cents. Technically, that's a viable target as well, but I would think more likely we don't see it get this much larger, right? Like that's from here to here, like that's way larger. That's a much larger wave 3. I wouldn't be surprised if wave 3 was like to here, just a little bit larger than what wave 1 was. That makes more sense to me, but anything can happen. Something around 2.9 cents though, that's kind of what I'm targeting if. It's something that we're considering now, but it will be a genuine target that's on the table if we get above this high in the next like 36 hours. But it all depends. It's not that cut and dry. It's not necessarily that cut and dry. I mean, that will be exciting, but if we move up here like this and the volume we see is like like this, like that might be a double top then. You know what I mean? That might not be good. We want to break out of this range here with some volume coming in. It doesn't have to be volume like this, but it should be growing, right? We should be growing as we're growing. Looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, right? Isn't that crazy? We were thinking 2 cents for so long would be resistance, but I think we're gonna find resistance just above 2 cents, maybe 3 cents. Man, that's crazy. I mean, you wouldn't think it. It's a lot harder to say this when you're down here, but when we're sitting up here, we're going to look at this and be like, you know what? This wasn't that bad. Like, for everybody who panic sold, for everybody who did things the wrong way, it was bad. It was that bad. But I mark my words, it's kind of weird how, maybe it's not weird at all, how a dramatic pump can just shift your perspective entirely. I mean, this chart becomes absurdly bullish the moment we get above this high. It's not even funny. It becomes pretty damn bullish the moment that we get above this high, above 2 cents, but we get above that high, man, FOMO's really going to set in. OnyxCoin, the latest Onyx poll is now live, January 7th, yesterday. Or sorry, 2 days ago. I don't know if it's still live then. This is the first vote to gauge. Let's see. Let's go to this. I really hope my wallet is not connected. Or one of my wallets, I should say. Let's see. Come. Load it up, OnyxCoin. We're waiting on you. Waiting on my internet, probably. 4 against the 4s have it, right? And this gives us the illusion that this is a decentralized voting protocol, that the ecosystem's participating in it. Really, the big dogs on top, probably the developers, the people who are contributing to OnyxCoin directly, the ominous theys at the top of the list here, like whoever they are, they're the ones that are voting for this. It gives you the illusion that you have time to vote, but I would personally vote. I think it's valid that we should get it, but just my gut and knowing how this is probably set up, I think voting against it would actually be better, probably for the price, because all this is going to do, right, is that whenever the main net comes out, the people, the devs, the team, not the investors. Very, very likely 90% of this will go to the devs, the team, and don't they deserve it? Of course they do, but they're going to sell, right? All this means is now for Goliath testnet, once the main net comes out, all the people who've collected tokens, have sent tokens, have done whatever, they're going to get rewards for maybe a lot of work, maybe for very little work. I don't know how it all works. I'm not a dev, but I would assume it's very little work. They're going to get rewards, and once the main net comes out, that'll probably be a sign that we sell. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. What I'm trying to say here, and the whole thought that I'm getting on here, is that first and foremost, when Goliath mainnet comes out, that will probably be a sell the news event anyways. Maybe to the day, maybe a week before, maybe a week after, who knows. But you add rewards, you add selling pressure to the selling pressure, you know what I mean? Like it's going to happen. Because what do you think? Imagine you're just in your house doing your day-to-day stuff. You do a couple of tasks here or there on the testnet. Takes you like less than 30 minutes to do. And now you're getting rewarded for it. You're going to sell those rewards. You get free money. Why not? Maybe it's worth $100. Maybe it's worth $1,000. Maybe it's a lot more than that. I don't know. But I don't know how the rewards would work out. But I'm assuming that this poll is really just a way for the people getting the rewards to justify that they got the rewards. See, we voted. It was a public thing. We all disclosed it. But whatever. They deserve it. They're going to get it. They definitely deserve it. Anyways, OnyxCoin's probably going to pump in the meantime. Think about it like this, right? Imagine that you or me, I'm going to imagine. Forget you imagining. This is my show. I'll imagine. You can hop on board and enjoy the ride. I'm imagining that I made OnyxCoin, that I'm the maker. I lead a team of devs, and I am the oversight, the behind the curtain voice, face, whatever, the faceless face of OnyxCoin. If I was getting rewards, because I would probably, if I was the maker, I'd probably have the most tokens, right? And I would probably be the head of this development and this testnet stuff going on. I'd be testing things, right? I'd probably get a lot of rewards from it. I wouldn't want to get those rewards here with all this bullish momentum being built. Why not? Why not carry the price on higher? And then whenever the main net comes out and I get my rewards, I could sell them at dramatically higher prices. I mean, all the selling pressure's gone away. We've got the FOMO. Crypto is entirely boring and depressed right now. Any kind of life at all coming from anywhere is going to attract flies. It's going to attract people like flies to Shizer. It's going to be a beacon of hope in these dark, desperate times. OnyxCoin is one good pump away from being in the top 100. And if it pumps the way that I think it will be a shining star in the top 100. It'll attract a lot of new investors, and that'll be a perfect time to offload. To offload if the main net was to come out. I don't know. That's just my thought. At any rate, all I'm trying to say is I would vote against that just because it'll probably add selling pressure, but we don't have a choice. The people who are behind it, I highly doubt that these 137 million tokens came from 100 different wallets or 1,000 different wallets or tens of thousands of different wallets, right? This probably, the majority of this, 90% of this probably came from like the same people. You know what I mean? And those are the people that are running the testnet. They deserve awards. They do. I'm just speaking ideally. If I'm being blunt, it would probably be better if we didn't. But whatever. Get your rewards. It's probably not going to be a huge amount anyways, but it will add to the selling pressure. And I just, again, painting this picture in my head, if I was getting rewards, I would want the price to be at a higher price. I want to be at the price where people are FOMOing in at the top and I can offload easily. You know what I mean? Like, that's not right now. Right now, if you got your rewards, you just send the price down. So, and I don't think that's what they want to do. I think they want it to be a shining example. It gets everybody on board, and just like every crypto project, then as soon as it does, that's whenever it sells off. And then we sell off, and then we come back up. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm not saying that this is what I'm going to do, but for anybody who's holding OnyxCoin, if Bitcoin Cash has not exploded yet, if it's still relatively in the same area, we're below $700, and OnyxCoin is up at this like 2 to 3 cent area, that might be a good swap, right? You sell out here and then you buy this one here. That might be a good play. I'm not going to do that myself, but for anybody out there looking to take advantage of an opportunity, that might be one. That might be a killer freaking play, guys. I mean, imagine you ride this thing all the way up from 0045, you ride it all the way up to 3 cents or 2.9 cents or whatever it might be. You sell there, and then you ride this thing up all the way up to $4,000 or $3,000, however high it might go. Like, you're just going to... And that sounds ideal. Of course it sounds ideal, but who knows if it actually works out. I'm just saying, if OnyxCoin were to be worth more than 2 cents before Bitcoin Cash is above $700, that's just a thought that I had, right? That doesn't mean that I'm going to do it. It's just a thought, because it's probably a really smart one. But I'm also not going to sell OnyxCoin because, again, we don't know what we're dealing with. I could be talking about this 2.9 cent to 3 cent area, 3.7 cent, whatever. Maybe we do exactly what we did back here. Maybe we're on our way up to 10 cents and beyond. You know, I don't want to have sat through all this, all of this. I don't want to have sat through all of this, right? Because that's where I first bought in back here. Maybe it was over here. I forget when. I'm not going to sit through all this just to sell out here, right? We're getting new all-time highs. That's where I'm going to be selling. Probably above $1. But still, just thought I'd promote that thought for anybody who's trying to make a play. And if you're making a play, hear my words right now. You don't do that with life savings. You do that with make a play money, right? If I go to Vegas and I play poker and I'm really good at poker, I'm not taking my life savings to play poker. I'm taking money that's fun to play with. Same thing here. If you want to make a play, don't bet your life savings. You're making a play, right? Let things play out with your life savings. Make a play with money that matters less, okay? 009 is the price. 1 hour left in this, or we're on the 1 hour time frame. We do have a 1 hour, about 1 hour. It is a new hour here. The 1 hour RSI is bearish at the moment, right? Lower lows, lower highs. Bearish. I don't know, you're kind of breaking out of that. That's kind of nice. I'm not seeing enough to get excited, but I suppose where you are right now is a more neutral read, just in an overall bearish environment. Does that make sense? Stochastics look bullish. And the MACD is bearish, but again, there's bullish implications here as well. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, not really getting a whole lot off of all these. I like this as an area to bounce here on the 4-hour, but we can go lower and still be fine. Overall, the 4-hour RSI is bullish. The stochastics getting down here and bouncing, that's exactly what you want to see. That's nice. The stochastics look very bullish right here, actually. And the MACD is bullish overall. I mean, we could keep coming down, and that's fine. We can keep doing that. If we keep consolidating in this area for another week or two, we will probably see the MACD cool off, right? And I shouldn't say a week or two, but like another week or another half week, we'd probably see the MACD cool off and come down to the zero by like Monday, actually. So if we don't make our move, if we don't get explosive by Monday, we actually might see this MACD cool off. That'd actually be nice. Monday, Tuesday. And then the RSI can come up to the overbought zone. I do expect fully, as I said here, that this is not a one-off move. We're not going to pump and dump, right? This is not a standalone move. We're not going to consolidate now for months and then move up. This is likely just a checkpoint, a stopping phase of what is an overall larger move. This move, when it's all said and done, we'll look back and we'll say that it did not end here, is all I'm trying to say. Right now, it's pretty obvious that it ended here, right? The move so far, it ended here. But I would compare it to like this, right? For example, here, the move didn't end at this high. It ended at this high. Of course, there was some volatility. Of course, that was a relative high. You know, if you're looking at the 1-hour time frame, it might seem like two entirely different moves, but it's on the daily time frame or the 4-hour time frame here, you can see that it is all part of one move. It's going to be like the same thing here, but on the daily time frame, we'll see that this is all part of one move. The 4-hour time frame gives me very bullish vibes. The 1-hour bearish, but kind of neutral, less consistent, and it's the 1 hour, so it's less significant. The daily time frame, back on to this very bullish vibes stuff here, you guys. Breaking above the zero on our oscillators, looking phenomenal. Stochastics are bullish. I mean, you're pointed down at the moment. Maybe you come down a little bit lower again, a little consolidation maybe into Monday. We bounce off the 50 and then we come up higher, but that doesn't need to happen. We can move up any day now. It could be tomorrow that we're up above 2 cents. You know, like it can, and it will happen fast whenever it does happen, right? Don't be surprised, right? This is nice. It's exciting. We're all happy and giddy and euphoric and whatever. It's great, but it wasn't a surprise. Don't be surprised if you're trying to play this game, buying and selling OnyxCoin and waiting for it to go just a little lower so you can buy in. Don't be surprised if you wake up tomorrow and it's at 1.6 cents. Or you wake up 3 days from now and it's at 1.8 cents, whatever. Or next week, by the end of next week, it's at 2 cents. Maybe it's not that fast. Maybe it takes a week after that. But sometime by the end of this month, I'm getting the vibe that we'll probably be well above 2 cents. I'm thinking so. But again, there's other things that can happen. Just because we move up here does not mean that we're going to 2 cents. It depends on how we do it, and I will hold your hand through this. I will tell you if I think that we're getting a double top. I will tell you if I think that we have bearish divergence, so we're going to sell off. I'll tell you. I don't think that's happening now. I'm giving you my genuine thoughts at the moment, as transparent as I can be. Weekly time frame. I mean, this is probably something to get excited about. That's pretty damn exciting. I mean, you had some absurd bullish divergence, and now you're flipping green. Now you're flipping green, right? Think about all the poor souls who think that this was the end of the move, or that we're anywhere near the end of the move. Because on the weekly time frame, what we're seeing here is that we're just getting started with the MACD. What we're seeing on the RSI is we're not even overbought yet. We haven't even really gotten to the bullish phase yet, right? The end of the move over here was when we were overbought. The end of the move here, we were a little bit higher than where we are now, basically in this range here. There's a lower high overall. This is a lower high too. I mean, anything's possible. But if we're expecting this to progress, if we're expecting this to go higher, and I am, I mean, we're not overbought yet. To me, it's been a very long time. It makes sense that we'd get overbought. Same thing with the stochastics. We're not overbought yet, and we just crossed green on the MACD. This move is just beginning. But I think we all know that. I think we all know that. I would hope we all know that. Because if you don't know that, if you don't think that this move is just beginning, you might be tempted to sell at any point along the way. And that's fine. Take profits, make profits. The pros take profits. Be like the pros. But I think selling OnyxCoin below $1 is just a shame. I think it's a shame. It's a crying shame. I don't really think I have anything else that I want to say. There's nothing really to talk about. I feel like there was something. I can't remember what it was. The expectation overall is that we will go all the way up to 10 cents, to 23 cents, somewhere in that area. We're at $0.0092 right now, just below 1 cent. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Those prices will be achieved maybe by the end of March. Maybe. Maybe earlier, maybe a little later. End of Q1, early Q2. That's my thoughts. Take care. Bye.